Hi, my name is Bob Bennett. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas. And we have started a series on the ethical boundaries for physicians and how to keep you, the physician, out of trouble with the Texas Medical Association. And with me this morning is my friend, colleague, and physician attorney, Tommy Swate. And we're going to be talking to Tommy about some of the cases that he's handled and also some of the cases that I've handled when we defend doctors, lawyers, and judges who sometimes do not play well with others and get into trouble because of sex, drugs, rock and roll, or all three. Tommy, good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
I think we'd like to start with our telling our audience a little bit about you, a little bit about your background, and maybe some of the cases that you've handled.
Well, I've defended doctors in malpractice cases as well as boundary issue cases. That is, doctors who found themselves with problems because of interacting with present or former patients. The boundary issue is one that the Texas Medical Board has attacked physicians on more than one occasion.
Well, we want to go into that, but let's start again. I want to get a little bit of your background. Now, where did you go to medical school?
I went to Tulane Medical School. I received 2 degrees from Tulane, a master's degree when I was a junior in medical school, and a MD degree when I finished my medical training. Did a residency in OBGYN. Then I went to South Texas College of Law. Graduated from South Texas College of Law and was able to pass the bar. So I'm a licensed attorney in Texas. And have had the good fortune to be asked to defend some of my friends when they ran into problems, especially boundary issues.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those boundary issues now, and maybe what are the rules and regulations that you, the physician, should know about. There is the American Medical Association, there's the Texas Medical Association, and there's other groups that set ethical boundaries. So if a physician is concerned about his relationship with a patient, how should he go about learning what he should do?
There's a variety of ethical guidelines issued by the various practice groups. The entity that, if you're in Texas, that you need to be aware of is the Texas Medical Board. That obviously is the group that monitors physician practices. And in this current day and time, monitor is, I think, the correct word. For certain specialties, such as psychiatry, the Psychiatrist Association prohibits any intimate relationships with future or former patients. That's an absolute prohibition. I've known of cases in Texas where a psychiatrist lost his license because he became romantically involved with a patient. The romance blew up, and as part of the anger of the patient of feeling betrayed, both romantically and professionally, she complained to the Texas Medical Board. As a result, the psychiatrist lost his license to practice. There's been other episodes in Texas that weren't so severe. One internist in Plano, Texas, had to pay a $10,000 fine and take courses on boundary issues because he had dated one of his patients. Another physician got into problems when he asked his patient for a date, and she did not find that amusing. So the spectrum of problems it's a broad area of potential problems. I think generally one should say that a current patient you should not have any type of intimate or romantic involvement with. If you think you're interested in the patient, discharge the patient, send the patient to another doctor, find her another doctor, wait an appropriate amount of time, which varies depending on the circumstances, and then approach the person. But never, never get romantically involved with a current patient, no matter what your specialty.
Let's go over that spectrum again. So if you're a psychiatrist, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever that you should even think about dating, much less being involved with a patient. It's that strong a rule, ironclad rule. Is that correct?
The psychiatrists not only say that you cannot be involved with a current patient, but you cannot be involved with former patients. It's obvious from the relationship between the psychiatrist and patients why they have that prohibition. Now, that's an absolute prohibition, which if you're a psychiatrist, you just cannot date current patient and former patients, period. Or people that might be close to these patients. For example, you're treating a woman who has a daughter as a psychiatrist. I think you could get into problems if you attempted to date the daughter. So with a psychiatrist, it's almost just absolute. The rest of the specialties depend on the fact situation.
Well, let's talk a little bit about a fact situation on the other extreme. So if you have a doctor who's a pathologist and simply looks at a slide and doesn't do anything else, is there a prohibition about a pathologist finding out about somebody and calling them for a date?
No, absolutely, because there's you can claim a physician-patient relationship, but the relationship is not a matter of trust or emotions involved or a matter of power differential. Same way with a anesthesiologist. Say an anesthesiologist gives anesthesia to a patient, one-time event, never sees the patient after the anesthesia, runs into the patient at a party 6 months later. There's no problem there. There's no power differential between the two people. And then between those extremes are the middle grounds, which if you're thinking about dating a current patient or a former patient, it would be best to get advice from a neutral source as to whether you can or can't and what steps you should take to protect yourself if you do. Remember, romantic relationships do not always turn out well.
Well, to say the least about that. I think we're all familiar with bad relationships. So let's kind of draw this to a conclusion, Tommy, and in summary, if a doctor has a question about a relationship with a patient, probably the first thing they should do is to call someone who's a licensed attorney like Tommy Swade or Bob Bennett. At the bottom of this reel, of this video we're showing here, we have both the address and the telephone numbers and the email addresses that you can go to. And if you call one of us, we'll give you a free consultation, talk to you about your situation, and make sure that you're not getting into trouble and try to keep you out of trouble. And any other sort of last words, Tommy, that you think you should tell our audience?
It's a whole lot cheaper to prevent a problem than it is to try to solve a problem that has been created. I was reading the VA's ethical guidelines, and they were recommending that if you have questions about romantic entanglements, you talk to a peer. I would recommend not doing that. My recommendation is for you to talk to someone who is not in your social setting, not in your professional setting, not someone that could in the future possibly use the information to your detriment. Find a objective person to speak to. Now, your office nurse, your office receptionist, your business manager are not objective people to seek advice from when it comes to the matters of the heart.
Finally, just keep in mind that when you talk to an attorney, that conversation is protected by the attorney-client relationship. That attorney cannot disclose that to anyone, and that might be the best of all worlds. So we want to thank you for watching this video. We'll be posting other videos on our website and on YouTube, and we look forward to talking to you again.